So gray literature is anything that is not published. So not published would be something that's not submitted and accepted for publication. So gray literature tends to be agency reports that are made available to the public on their websites, but they technically, haven't been published. So it's actually a really kind of confusing, I find it a really confusing concept.
The critical aspect of gray literature is because it's not filtered by the publication process, if there is a bias towards more positive or significant types of findings, you're more likely to be able to detect it by a careful review of the gray literature, of the unpublished studies that may never have gone on to be published. So it's always important, I believe, in a synthesis or in a meta-analysis to check the gray literature to see if it might skew towards more non-significant or alternative findings.
We know that when it comes to the gray literature, they tend to be more null findings. And so if we ignore that literature, we oftentimes will inflate kind of our mean average effect size. And also, when it comes to a meta-analysis, our goal is really not so much to explain the mean most oftentimes, but to look at the heterogeneity in our effect size distribution. And so by ignoring a lot of the gray literature, we are really constraining that effect size distribution and the types of inferences that we're going to make when it comes to our moderator analysis.
I know for every discipline, reaching out to sort of the smaller, non-commercial publishers, your society publishers, they will be a great resource because they're keeping tabs on all of this information, even if they don't include it within their databases. So that's kind of one strategy to help, again, get somebody started. But then that was super helpful for us to think about what's the universe of gray literature, what's really important to us, who are our development partners and organizations. So it kind of helped us, I think, create that initial map for Series 2030 gray literature.
Future areas of improvement when it comes to literature search strategies and educational psychology is really going beyond the use of academic databases, reaching out to professional listserv, looking at dissertations, looking at preprints. So I think that educating a lot of individuals that are going to be conducting systematic reviews and meta-analyses around these gray literature sources is going to be really important as we move forward. And I think that librarians play a really critical role in kind of that education process.